Good morning. Today we're going to do a little video about repotting an aloe vera plant. I posted a video a while back which was entitled Time to Repot the Aloe Vera, and it had lots of views, and I felt like I cheated you because I just took a film of it and noticed that it needed repotting and didn't actually repot it. And you might have tuned in to see it being repotted and been disappointed. So I went and got it. Here it is. It's got the pink knife. That is my indoor, it's called a tomato slicer knife by Victorinox, and it is incredibly sharp. It's like a scalpel. Beautiful knife. Use it for absolutely everything. So I've got that because I've taken it out of the pot now, and you can see that there's maybe 2 plants in there. So at one point I will have been in a rush and taken 2 plants and planted them in the same pot, and now they're not growing well. So I'm sawing through the biggest roots which may have got tangled up rather than pulling them apart, because the thing about an aloe vera is it snaps easily. It's not got tough insides to the leaf. It's all like jelly and juice, which is so good. Now what I've got here is I'm peeling off some little babies that have grown under the ground, under the earth, inside the pot. I'm feeling really bad as I do that because each one of those could make another aloe vera, but to be honest, I just haven't got the space to keep making many aloe vera babies. So I'm feeling a bit sad at that point because there's quite a few aloe vera babies there lying on the side. I've shown you the camera that this one, although it's a bit misshapen, has got a flower in. And now I'm turning my attention to the bigger one. What I'm looking at here is the dead leaves that are growing around the base of the plant. I'll get better at filming this kind of thing. I'll maybe turn it to the camera more often, but feels like I've got my subject on an operating table. Look, I'm peeling off the dead leaves that are around the base where they join the soil. And that's when I do actually snap one of the leaves. But if you're careful, you can kind of wiggle them and they'll all come off at the root and leave a sort of a stem. If I show you, yeah, I'm showing you the leaves as I peel them off. I've got myself a cup of tea here. I do hope you don't mind that I'm going to be slurping away as we talk. There, you see that bit there? I've snapped that leaf. It's very fragile, full of gunky kind of slime. That's the stuff that everybody swears by for healing wounds and inner health. I need to explore that more fully and might make a film about that at some point. You see the flower, the big flower that at the end of that plant waving around in the breeze. I also should apologise, I've got a bit of a cold. It's a cold, it's not COVID, no need to worry there. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm working around the plant, removing all the broken, discoloured leaves that are past their best. And that is creating a sort of stem between the leaves and the earth. And I'm wondering whether or not, when it comes to repotting it, if I need to actually pot it up beyond that. Excuse me for my cough. There's quite a lot of leaves that I need to take off. Now, the experts will tell you that each one of those leaves will also turn into an aloe vera plant if you can be up for repotting them. They are an incredibly tenacious kind of plant. Anyway, so I'm still pulling them off. And I'm thinking, what on earth am I going to do with these leaves? Let me just pause for a little second.
Turn it down.
Oh, excuse me, the tea is far too hot. I won't be drinking any more of that at the moment. So each one of these can be propagated into another aloe vera. So what my advice would be is don't buy more than one of any kind of aloe vera. Buy one, be patient, feed it, water it, let it grow, and then when you feel like having more than one, just pull a few leaves off. There you can see the stem. It's really quite a high amount of leaves that I've pulled off. But the shape of the plant now is a lot better. And now I'm looking at the roots and thinking, right, well, I need to like have a little pull off them, loosening the soil, pulling the roots, freeing the roots out. And I'm also checking for any more little babies that might be growing in there, because I just don't want the babies in the pot. Now, I've got a whole load of those leaves. And I'm thinking to myself, what on earth am I going to do with those? I've got my pot, light blue Peter, there you go, which I've saved for later. So I've gone for the biggest pot, and I'm just putting some of the leaves in the bottom. Instead of crocks, you know, the bits of pottery you should put in the bottom for drainage. I thought, no, I'll just stick the leaves in. As I've said to you, if done properly, those leaves would make new baby aloe veras. I don't think they will when they're buried in the bottom of the pot, but they're just to keep things neat, keep things out of the way, use less soil in the pot. As you can see, I've scraped in all the old soil, or potting compost, should I say. It's not soil. And that's when you'll notice that I've rocked the table a bit, and all this force now is doing something that I don't realise. It's moving the camera. So instead of starting to see the plant, which is what this whole movie is about, the camera shifts and you start to see more of me than you do of the plant. Very annoying. I'm completely in the zone at this point, and I am gardening away, doing houseplant repotting, in a world of my own, loving every minute, loosening up that soil, and the camera that is supposed to be filming all this is deciding to film something else. There, you see, I've pulled another baby off. Still loosening the soil. I mean, it's surprising. The original black plastic pot was quite a bit smaller than this one, but, you know, jamming this thing in, shifting the camera view, pushing it down. And at that point, I think, you know what? It's low enough in the pot. How wrong could I be? So I've shoved it in there. I'm standing back. I'm having a little look. I'm going to add more compost to it. But what actually happens is, and I've clipped the film, you'll be glad to hear, is that I fill it all up, the camera shifts, and then I decide it's too proud, it's sticking up out of the pot too much. So I pull it out. That's my husband tapping at me on the kitchen window. He does like to try and get into a film when I'm making one. I'm sure your spouses or partners maybe try and interfere when you're doing a how-to video. But yeah, so I'm standing back and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know what? It's sticking out of the pot too much. This will not do. You know, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for a video. I can't have this plant stupidly sticking out of the top. So I think at that point I probably pull it out of the pot and start all over again. I'm clearing some, I think I've cleared all the soil to the side again. And I'm thinking, oh dear. I mean, it would be really great if the camera hadn't shifted, wouldn't it? You'd be seeing a lot more. You'd be seeing what you tuned in for at any rate, instead of the top of my head. Get that trug bucket back on that bench. So I think I'm going to do it again. Or at this point, have I maybe even started to pot up the second one? Who knows? I mean, you know, you're just seeing my attractive shirt that I got from a charity shop. That shirt cost me £1. It's from Next originally. I'm going to cough now a bit. Sorry, pardon me. Anyway, that's when I noticed the camera shifted, and this is the finished thing. We have gone from 1 aloe vera to 2. That top one is a little bit wobbly, as you can see. But the beauty of putting a sheet on the table is that you can then remove the sheet with all your excess potting compost in and tip the potting compost back into your trug bucket to use for another time. So that's when I lift up the camera and I reposition it and think, yep. And there you have it. 2 aloe veras for the price of 1. Pretty good sizes. Really pleased with that, in terracotta pots. I'm going to leave them outside now for the rest of the summer so that they can get summer rain, summer sun, and then all I'll do is every now and again when they look very dry, I will give them a water. As you can see there, I'm watering them with a sprinkler. That's when I like to be professional. And there you have it. So that is how you repot aloe vera and manage to talk your way out of the bit where it doesn't show the aloe vera. But have a lovely day, guys. I hope this has inspired you to do some gardening of your own. Take care, and I will be seeing you soon sometime. Hope that relieved a little gap in your day. Bye for now.